Welcome, beautiful souls, and thank you for watching. I'm Gabrielle, retired medium in Germany, and I like to share some of my otherworldly experiences and insights. So, this one is about memories and images from other lives. As a kid, and I want to show you how I looked like as a kid. That was me at the age of 6 or 7 when I came into school. And my mother cut our hair, me and my two sisters, the same way, kind of this very simple haircut that looked a bit like the typical cliche Chinese haircut. And as a child, I was bullied in school because they all sensed that I'm different. And I also sensed that I'm different and that I'm not fitting in. I even had the idea that I'm switched at birth in the hospital, and that's not my real family. And I have this memory of 3 years looking around in the living room at my family and my siblings and thinking, what am I doing here with these people? So I came home from school very often because of the bullying, and I was crying and in tears because they called me names, the other kids. And now I do understand why they called me these special names, and it's even clear to me now as a medium that, like kids always pick up things from the invisible or the not spoken, they called me Slit Eye and China Girl because I had kind of very slit eyes, and well, they picked up one of my lifetimes I know now from Tibet. And I did not only have one lifetime in Tibet, there were several, and more of them in India and some in South America and so on. So Slit Eye and China Girl was quite on the point, but it was hurting, of course. And I cried myself to sleep at night in my bed very often with a kind of fantasy I thought I invented myself, like a dream. And I had the idea because I did not really have friends as a kid, and it was always difficult with friends or getting friends and finding real friendship. I had the idea that when I'm grown up, I'm able somehow, I wasn't thinking of wealth and money, but I was able to invite all of my friends to come with me on a kind of cruise. Of course, as a kid, with the first movies and television, I thought of kind of these three-mast wooden boats from pirate films. A boat like that, a ship like that, and I'm on this ship with all my friends, and we are sailing to a kind of Caribbean scenery, which I called the Islands of Bliss. And later, when I became older and talked with my oldest sister, the psychologist, about that, she said, oh, that's quite common, children that feel rejected, they make up these fantasies that they are switched at birth in the hospital and they belong to another family. And that's just your way of processing it. Well, that's the way how psychology looks at that. I know it now because I dealt with psychology as well for quite a while when I was younger. But now, with my mediumship and all the insights and everything I learned up to now via mediumship, I know you cannot make up anything that you don't know. So this was not a made-up dream, it was a memory, it is a memory. And if I just change one word, it's not a wooden boat, but it's more an ark. And I already told you that I don't believe and think that the story about Noah's Ark was about a wooden boat. And how would there have ever fit in all the animals? The lions would have eaten up some other animals. This does not work. And now that we're in our science development that far, that we ourselves as humanity create data banks where we keep the DNA of animals, plants, and everything that's maybe endangered to be extinct. So from that perspective, it makes much more sense. And I also have memories of of arks, and they weren't wooden boats. They were kind of metallic looking, and they were very, very big, giant, lentil-like in shape, and they were on Earth. And I have images that I'm entering these arks with people, and in there's everything we need. There's even kind of like in a biodome, nature, plants and fruits to eat, and we could take our pets with us into these arks. And since I heard the whistleblower from Dr. Michael Saller's Exopolitics show, JP, talking about his visits in these buried or underwater arks that are not only on Earth but in the whole solar system as kind of a security mechanism if, at the end of a cycle there might be a pole shift and Earth changes via volcanism or a flood and things like that. These arcs are activated by just the frequency of the sun in the whole process of the cycle. At the end of a big cycle, these arcs appear from under the water or where they are buried, and they open up and they draw via frequency also the people to them that belong to these special arks, because Earth is an experiment, like a garden, an experimental garden of our elder brothers that are doing experiments with life and life forms here, and that never stopped. They're still doing it. And in this whole process, this already happened several times, and I think I have these images and pictures because it all happened before. We have all done this before, and we just don't remember, because if you incarnate into Earth, you have to accept the rule of the veil of forgetfulness. You start blind and you try to find your way home to the light, kind of blind. So that's one part of the strange memories, and I have some others. I remember pictures of, I think it's in Inner Earth, because Inner Earth is not, I don't think it's the whole thing that's the entire inside of Earth is hollow. I think it's pockets and giant cave systems and different spheres of different frequencies and dimensions and densities. So I know there are pockets of 4th, 5th, and 6th density in Earth. Some are filled with what we would call with our human language extinct life. When I was traveling astrally in my dreams, or still conscious but in the hypnagogic state before falling asleep, the theta brainwave state, when I was traveling through inner earth several times, I saw these places looking like giant biodomes, and in there were extinct plants, extinct animals. I saw the Archaeopteryx flying in the sky and things like that. And I saw trees with fruits. We don't know today. I have no name for them. For example, one that looked kind of like an apple, but it was double or triple the size and a total different color, like pinkish, or banana-like things that had a different color. So a lot of different things. And I knew when I saw that traveling through inner earth, these are the extinct plant life forms and animal life forms. They are all saved. So we can stop worrying about species going extinct. They are all preserved. Nothing is lost, and nothing will ever be lost, because there's a greater force caring for that. And I also have weird memories. I couldn't make sense of them when I was younger, but I always hated tests in school, and my last test in life was the driving license when I was 30. And after that, I thought, yippee, now I don't have to make any other test and have this stress of will I make it and something like that. And I have these dreams and memories of being in classroom sceneries. Now I know that's on the ships astrally at night. We were all schooled and taught in the astral by our elder brothers, the sky people, or however you want to call them. And I have these classroom memories sitting there with others, and we are taught something. I don't remember what I was taught or what we were taught and what we learned there. But as my guides tell me, when it's necessary, it's like an unpacked zip file on your computer. That's the kind of picture with by what we can understand it nowadays. That will all be unpacked when it's needed, and it's there. So I even had kind of memories that I had to speak in front of big audiences, which I don't like, and I didn't feel very comfortable in these dreams or astral travels. And I remember one scene where I had to speak in front of the public, and my mind translated the scene like, the Parliament scene in Star Wars. There were many, many, many sitting around, and they weren't all human looking. And I had to speak up for, humanity, although I did not feel like that. How can I speak up for humanity? And I was kind of disappointed, because it all seemed to be like politics on Earth, just talking, debating, and time goes by, and nothing happens, nothing changes, and nothing moves. So I'm a bit frustrated about this debating and talking. But I had to speak up in front of the public in this one memory. And the only thing I remember I said out loud with force was, enough, it's enough. No, nobody wants this any longer. And that's kind of my feeling. I have enough of politics and all this lying and all the fake news, and I can detect what is, in most cases, I can detect via my mediumship trainment what is true and what is not, because you resonate with truth, and that's inbuilt, it's innate. I once had this funny experience in my drum class. During a lesson, I had my hand resting on the skin of the drum while the drum teacher was talking. And I felt that my hand was vibrating with the skin on top of the drum, because her sounds of talk, of words and language made the skin resonate and vibrate, and I could feel it in my hand. And I know that we are made out of a lot of water, maybe even more than 70%. Nowadays they say it's around 90% or even more. So water is a conductor, and it resonates and vibrates. Have you ever tried to shout out or sing underwater? That's an interesting experience. And so now I know by that we are resonating with truth. But if the truth is kind of hidden in some lies and false facts, then we still resonate with the truth, but we're in danger to kind of take in the false facts as well. And as science is nowadays the new religion, but they change every 10 years. The last thing they said about creation was the Big Bang, and my guides told me, no, that's not the last, what to call that? That's not the last truth. It's quite close, but it did not really happen like the Big Bang. And now I hear scientists talking on YouTube, well, the Big Bang is not the latest knowledge, and so on. So that's very interesting. And another thing, I want to share some of my visits upstairs in the latest time with my Pleiadian friends in their starships. They showed me that they have a map and a plan, and it was like a holographic three-dimensional thing that was projected from a table above into the air. And what they told me was more or less, we will show up more and more and more. There will be more sightings until no one can deny our existence. So that made me very happy, because it took me a while to accept it, and but now I'm fine with that, and I love to see the moving lights in the sky nearly whenever I go out at night before bed and have a look in the sky. I see something moving, and I can also discern between the ones who react with my telepathy, because I always send, when I see a moving dot in the sky, I send kind of hi, hello, and if there is no reaction at all, then it's not the right address, not the right people. The so-called negative guys won't answer your joyful greeting, telepathically sent up to the skyship you see moving over the night sky as a little white or yellow dot. But when I got in contact with some who were, I think, Pleiadians, they answered by sending me back a big wave of joy, and I was kind of jumping with joy, and they flashlighted up and they lit up like that, tiny dot, and I was thinking hello, and then they woo, that was like a yes, we see you, hi there. Or they make a 90-degree turn to show me, no, we're not a plane. And we got your hello, we got your greeting, because our flying technology isn't able to do a 90-degree turn in full speed. That would smash our bodies inside. And because they are with different technology, they can do that. Most of them, they have some kind of a field around the ship. That's why the real photos of real UFO look very blurry, because of this field, this force field around by which they move. And I think it's got something to do with anti-gravity. I don't have the head to understand that. That's too much physics for me. But they told me and explained me, and what I got from that is, they have technology by which they can do that. So that's some of the things I wanted to share with you today about some of my kind of weird memories and images I had throughout my whole life. And only now I can make sense of it because of my mediumship trainment and all the experiences I had traveling astrally, having OBE or ESP perceptions in other densities like 4D, the beyond with the deceased, or with the Fae and the angels and ETs and so on, or inner earth. So I hope this maybe explains to you some of the things you might have as well, these classroom dreams, being schooled but not knowing what about, and the dislike of the school tests or something like that. What I like most is my childhood dream of sailing in a ship with all my friends to the islands of bliss that looked to me in this imagery like Hawaii or something like that, tropical, wonderful Caribbean islands with palm trees and white sand and beautiful people like the Hawaiians are, with this wonderful skin color. I always think myself as a white person, I'm looking like a white blob, and I really love the color the Indians have or the South Americans, and I feel very much at home in South America. And now that I know I had a few lives there as a shaman in the Amazon and things like that, now it all falls into place and makes sense. So maybe you look differently now on some of your memories or dreams, and I would like to inspire you not only to get a new point of view or a different point of view, but like Lao Tse once appeared recently, and he said, it's not about having a different point of view. It's about getting new eyes, because you are all in the process of transformation. You are getting your light bodies now with the increasing energy coming from the sun at the end of a cycle. And this time it won't be a kind of catastrophic thing like pole shift and volcanic activity or flood. Although the arks are getting activated, as JP is telling us, the spirit world says no, it will go smooth. And the one advice for all of us is stay in a good state, be happy as you can, use bliss and joy to activate vibrations of higher nature inside of you, and don't step into fear. That's what the whole kind of system of this world. And yes, we are living in a kind of simulation to teach us growth and to make us learn the important things. That's why all this about the incarnations and having lessons, life lessons, and some suffering are taking place. And they say, although you don't like suffering, it's the fertilizer for growing consciousness. And that's the way you are supposed to go. And everything will come back to the light where it originated. So we're now at the point of getting all this information, not only by me, but by others as well. And it's a bright future that they see for us, and we can stop worrying about extinct plants or animals, and we can stop worrying about wars and whatever catastrophes, because it's all in good state. Humanity has grown a lot, the consciousness has grown a lot. Only a few people still want power or authority or wealth and money. More and more people just long for a peaceful, harmonious life with others where they share everything and everyone can prosper and grow just harmoniously and peacefully together. So that's what I wanted to share today and leave you with that. Thank you for watching. Blessings, love and light.